Everything in this world is created off of a thought, right? A cup, someone had to think about, what am I going to drink out of, right? A pen, someone thought about, what are we going to write with, right? So we all have these thoughts, but in order to formulate them to be positive, we have to stay in a conscious mind. So now we have this conscious mind where we're present, right? Just talking, having a conversation. And then sometimes when we get to ourselves, the unconscious mind comes out. And that's when we start to fall in the deep, dark hole of depression or whatever it may be. But I think if we can continue to not get ourselves involved in that subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind has been around forever and it's always going to continue running. And that's why I encourage meditations and, distracting techniques. And I can also talk about that in further videos. But if we can kind of tone down that subconscious mind, then I don't think that so if we can control our unconscious mind, then that's going to help us in a positive state of mind. So for example, the unconscious mind is helpful, don't get me wrong. The unconscious mind is very helpful when we're in like a time of need, when we're in danger, right? You're going to have that unconscious mind that's going to tell you to run, right? You're going to be present, and let's say that there's a bear, the unconscious mind is going to give your body and trigger your body like, hey, you need to run, hey, you need to fight, hey, you need to stay. So I don't want you guys to think of the unconscious mind as a negative thing, but it can be very negative to us when we have that one domino effect. However, it can be negative to us when we have that one thought of something not going to work, not believing in ourselves, something horrible is going to happen. It turns into a domino effect. An example of a domino effect would be, when you line all the dominoes up, right? And you just push one and they just go, and then they all fall down, right? That's what happens in your mind. You have your subconscious, your unconscious mind. It does that. And then it triggers your conscious mind, and then you start to feel like you're depressed or angry, upset, right? And then you start to think, right? There goes that CBT. And then you start to behave like you're mad, sad, or angry, right? And the behavior may be just like sleeping in your room all day. It may be, going off on people or not being able to communicate with people. Whatever it may be that your behaviors are, that's where it stems from that thought of that unconscious mind. All right, guys, to help you understand this process of cognitive behavioral therapy, I want you guys to look around your room or wherever you're at watching this video and just kind of picture all the black things that are in the area. So if there's a cup, black cup, TV, whatever's there, right? All right, now simply close your eyes. Now, can you remember all of the blue things that you've seen before you closed your eyes? Now simply open your eyes. So that process was, you were so fixated on the black things that I said, right? I said black. So you're like, okay, where's the black? There's a black TV, this, that, right? So you're so focused. And I told you to close your eyes and tell me all the blue things. Your mind probably went completely blank, because that's what happens when we are in these negative emotions and we can't shake them. We are so fixated on this black thing, right? And we're not even noticing the other things that are around us. And how does this go into our behavior, right? We start to feel bad. We start to not do things that we enjoy. And if we were to reverse that, right? If we have a positive thought, and then we'll have a positive action, and then we'll have those positive feelings. So I'll get into that as we go throughout this video of how we can jump into those positive, the unconscious mind triggering the conscious mind. So I did want to say that it does affect your frontal lobe in your brain. So the frontal lobe, it is in charge of problem solving, your emotions, your memory, language, and judgment, and sexual behaviors. So that all makes sense, right? If you are downing your frontal lobes, like you're obviously not working the way that it should be, you're obviously not able to problem solve. You're not able to have sexual pleasures. You're not able to have effective emotions. You're not able to have good judgment, right? When you're not feeling the best, your judgment is all off the charts, right? Have you heard that saying, fake it until you make it? I know it's a cliche, but in the process of cognitive behavioral therapy, obviously, like I said, you must think it, then you will behave it, then you'll start to feel it, right? So that may be requiring you to get in the mirror and do your makeup. That might be requiring you to get in the mirror and tell you that you love yourself. And that may be hard for some individuals, but maybe getting in the mirror and telling yourself that it's going to be okay today. Maybe it's going to be okay for the moment, right? This too shall pass is another one that I like to use. It always all works out for me. So everything starts with a thought. Like I mentioned, things that it was all created in this world started with a thought. And you too can fix your thoughts, but you must believe that you feel that way, right? That you will feel better. And again, like I said, just practicing in the mirror with that simply. So another thing that I like to help with improving those thoughts, those positive thoughts, is visualization, imagery. So this is simply just imagining yourself where you would like to be in the next 5 years, or the next moment, or the next 10 years. Like maybe you're not quite there yet. Maybe you haven't started working on those goals, but think in your mind, like, how would you feel if you were there? If it's purchasing a home, if it's, buying the newest phone, or buying a new car, whatever it may be, just visualization. Visualize yourself driving in that car. Visualize yourself buying that home, using that key to open that door. That is going to increase your emotions, right? Because it started with that thought. Now your emotions are created. Then your behaviors, right? You'll come out of that depression. You'll come out of those sad moments because you're motivating those frontal lobes. Those emotions are working, and you're turning down, whatever you like to call it, that unconscious mind, and you're staying present, right? Your mind is able to formulate these thoughts, and then you start to feel better. So I always like to start off with my clients to start to visualize. And if that's hard for you and you may not have any goals right now and you're just not feeling your best, I think you can also just visualize a safe place for you. Visualize yourself at the beach. Maybe it's quiet and you hear the ocean. Go in a quiet room and try this visualization. Doing visualization, it frees your mind. It gives your body a sense of relief. You get to relax in a state of mind where your mind is formulating positive thoughts, because these are goals. This is a safe place that you like to be. So that unconscious mind that's giving you those negative thoughts saying you can't do this, you're stupid, you're ugly, this and that, is not able to tap into that state of mind. So I think this is very important for you guys to try out. And maybe do this before you go to bed. Maybe do this in the morning when you wake up. So therefore you're already training your mind to have these positive thoughts, right? And also using it with, your affirmations, right? You're having these positive thoughts, you're in this visualization. Then after that visualization, tell yourself, I can do this, right? This will work out for me. Whatever affirmation is going to work with you, but I highly encourage you to pair that with your affirmation. Sometimes we become stuck because we're conditioned this way, right? Maybe you didn't grow up in such a happy home, or maybe, they say that apple doesn't fall from the tree. And that's what this means, right? If you grew up with having a mom with a lot of anxiety, or a dad with a lot of depression, we are conditioned this way. So I heard this little story that I wanted to share with you guys that made so much sense. It was an analogy. So there was these people that went to the zoo, right? And they were elephants. They were almost set free. Well, they were set free. They weren't in any cages, but they wouldn't move. So the guy asked, hey, well, what's wrong with these elephants? Like, why don't they move? Like, why don't they just take off? There's no gate. There's nothing blocking them from moving, right? So the guy says, well, they've been conditioned. And the other guy says, well, how have they been conditioned? Well, when they were younger, they tied a little tiny string on their leg, and then they weren't able. So the guy said they tied a little tiny string on the elephant's leg while they were younger. So when they were younger, that little tiny string, when they tried to run or tried to get away, they weren't able to get away, right? But now they're huge elephants, And so the guy says, well, they're conditioned because we would tie those little tiny strings on their legs and they couldn't get out. So they still have those little tiny strings that are on their legs, and they've been conditioned. They think they can't move because when they were younger, they couldn't. So now they don't even give themselves a try. So when I heard that, I thought about, wow, us humans are like that. We can be in such a dark hole, think so negative, when it sounds so hard to just jump up out of our emotions and just be, happy and be ourselves again. But it's this unconscious mind that keeps us down, when the present mind is our best friend, right? The present mind, if we can use those affirmations when we're feeling down, the conscious mind will help us start to feel better, will help us start to think better. So I just believe that a lot of us have been conditioned to think the way that we think, and it keeps us in this negative cycle. But if you don't get anything from this video, everything starts off with a thought, right? And I said the domino effect. How can you make your life a less of a domino effect and be able to build yourself up, right? Building on top of those dominoes. Thinking positive, getting in the mirror, telling yourself that you love yourself. All those things that I mentioned previously. If you want better, get up and do something about it. Stop sitting down and being sad about things and being angry. Get up and do something about it. So you guys know me, I took some notes, some questions I think you should ask yourself when you are feeling down to kind of help you get out of that unconscious state of mind and stay present. So here are some of the questions that I want you guys to try on your own. First question, where am I right now? Where are you in your physical goal? Where are you in your mental goal? Where are you in your life goals, financial goals? Any of those categories you could use to help yourself. Where are you right now? And maybe it's just simply starting with asking yourself, where am I? I'm at home. I'm in my car. That's an easy question just to ask yourself to stay in the present moment, and also to get those positive thoughts start to roll around. The next one, I am traveling in the future, worried about something that might happen or planning something to happen. Again, a lot of us are conditioned to do that. We may be having a really good time, and in the moment our mind gets in that unconscious mind and starts to think negative, we try our best to try to prepare for what's going to happen. The next one, am I in the present? Am I really paying attention? What I'm doing, thinking, or feeling? I think that's a really good one. And maybe after asking yourself that, take a deep breath. Maybe take a walk, and to allow yourself to reset. Resetting that mind. So when you come back, you're going to be in a positive state of mind. You're going to start to think positively. You start to believe in yourself. I could do this. Those affirmations again. All right, guys. That was the end of the cognitive behavioral therapy. I did throw in there a little bit of the unconscious mind and the conscious mind, and how it totally affects our ability to be positive, and how it can be useful when we are in time of need. I am going to make some future videos and really be able to express the difference between the two, and I think if we can understand it, then it makes it easier, right? Because if you can't name it, you can't tame it. All right, guys, stay tuned. Please like and subscribe to my channel. All right, see you.